Hey YouTubers and Simmers, so I've created a Hogwarts for my Sims FreePlay town under my friend's neighborhood, so I thought I would show you guys what it looks like. So the first room that I decided to create for Hogwarts is the Great Hall, and the reason I created this was because it's the main room where most of the things happen, and this is the room where all the great feasts happen, all the big announcements and celebrations happen. So if you guys ever watched a movie or read the books, there's usually 4 main long tables where the children sit, where the students sit, and the different houses sit at these different tables. So a lot of times there are feasts that occur here, whether it's a Thanksgiving feast or any other sort of feast. So I've used the dining tables that look like they have turkeys and other types of food on it. And this Great Hall is supposed to have a bunch of different candles in it. So if you guys look on the table, you'll see that there's illustrations that kind of resemble candles on the tables. And along the side of the walls, there's also windows that are the haunted windows that have candles on it also. So I made it like that so that it would appear more like the way that it's described in the book and the movies. And also, there's also a section for the headmasters if you look towards the right. So on the left, the 4 main tables, the long tables, are all where the students sit, and then on the right, you'll see that there's a few chairs that look better in quality than the chairs for the students, and these chairs are for the headmasters and the faculty of Hogwarts. And they also have the same thing going on in terms of the feasts, but they also have other special tables for them. And if you look in the middle, there's a podium where Dumbledore or anyone else can go up and make an announcement. So again, this is the Great Hall, and this is one of the main reasons why I had to build this Hogwarts on a beachfront property, was because I needed enough room to make the Great Hall since it was so big. But yeah, this is the first room that you'll see. Next up, I've put the kitchen alongside the Great Hall, and the reason that I had it here, the original kitchen for Hogwarts is actually supposed to be in the basement, sort of, so it's actually supposed to be a level beneath, but I've just decided to include it on the first floor because we only have 3 floors to work with maximum. And since Hogwarts is themed like a castle, I decided to give it more of a gothic look, so I used the counters that you see here that give it more of a feel for what a castle should feel like, and I also used the marble flooring to match with the countertops that I used, and I also used the black fridge and the black stove in order to get to match with everything else, and the walls are black also. Right adjacent to the Great Hall is supposed to be an area where the grand staircase is that connects the ground floor of Hogwarts to the upstairs level. So this is the room where it's at. This is the other side. I'll show you guys the stairs later, but basically I've included the other side of the staircase is supposed to be an area with oak doors, so I've included that back there, and there's also supposed to be armors on the side of that oak door, so I've included them also, as you can see towards the side of the oak door. And at the bottom there you'll see a desk, and I've included that because I thought it would be cool if when students are walking throughout Hogwarts, they would have, those magazines are supposed to be the Daily Prophet, so they could grab that and read it on their way to class or whatever. And along the side of this room, if you look along the walls, there are also the paintings that you'll see throughout a lot of the castle, and a lot of them seem kind of haunted. So this is the rest of that main hallway that I showed you guys, and this way you can see a clearer image of what's supposed to be the marble staircase, and pretty much the grand stairs that lead you upstairs to the rest of Hogwarts. And you can also see pretty much all the paintings that line up this room. On the other side of the castle, on the ground floor, next to that staircase area, is pretty much a corridor that leads to the different classrooms of Hogwarts. And so you can see right here the different classrooms, but they're not really Hogwarts, although some of them can relate. These are more Sims sort of classrooms. So basically the corridor that runs through the ground floor of Hogwarts, it's supposed to have, there's a scene where Harry goes down the corridor and then towards the right, and it leads him outside. So I've created that where that's able to happen. So if you see the ground, if you go straight down the middle and towards the right, you'll see that there's also a door that leads outside. But anyways, these are the main classrooms that I've included for the Sims Hogwarts castle, and it's a little bit different from the main classrooms in actual Hogwarts. So the classrooms here are actually related to the Sims FreePlay. So you see fashion design, you see woodworking towards the right there. You see ballet also, or pirouettes, which I've included different. The wallpaper theme and everything looks the same. I've included the stereo and the different posters. On the left-hand side there, you'll see for preteens there is a karate room. And there's also a room with some study desks as well as a blackboard so the teachers can teach. And the very last room, I've actually put a canvas in there and a guitar because I thought it would be more spiritual, since that's the room that I've decorated with stars as the carpet and stars as the wallpaper. And in that last room towards the upper left-hand corner also, I made it into sort of the divination room because I've included a table and some chairs, and I've included the lamp that looks like a plasma ball so that it sort of looks like it's a divinations room. So anyway, this is the ground floor with all the classrooms. Going up to the second floor, I've decided to include Moaning Myrtle's bathroom, and this is where a lot of scenes also take place from several of the movies. And the actual bathroom, if you read the books or the movie, is supposed to be located right above the Great Hall. So I've included it there right above my Great Hall. And the way, if you watch the movies and seen the scenes and stuff, you see the sinks. The sinks are in circular fashion, so I've included that there in a circular fashion, and they're kind of in the middle of the bathroom. And come to think of it, if you guys want to recreate this, you don't need that many sinks. I could have just used like 4 of them and put them in circular fashion. So these are the sinks that I found to be closest in resemblance to the actual sink in Myrtle's bathroom. So yeah, it's in broad daylight right now, so it's not that creepy, but I've also included the bathtubs because in some of the scenes, Harry does use the bathtub and go in it and stuff. So we know that there are bathtubs in there, so I've located some of them in there. I've put in some toilets as well as some showers in there also. And the walls, I've used those walls. Well, I used the floors because that kind of looks like it would belong in that room. It looks like bathroom floors. And the walls, specifically, I use this kind of wall because if you look at the bottom, it kind of looks like it's a little bit dirty. It's not really clean, which kind of gives off that feeling of what Myrtle's bathroom should look like. I mean, it's not really used, and it's haunted, so it kind of has that feel. So this is Myrtle's bathroom upstairs. On the second floor, right next to Myrtle's bathroom, I've decided to include the dormitories, or basically the different towers for each of the houses. So if you look at the different rooms, you'll see that it's color-coded to the different houses in Hogwarts. So I've got red and gold for Gryffindor, and I've got green and white for Slytherin, and so on and so forth for Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff. So I thought it would be cool to theme the different rooms after the colors involved in each house. And they're not perfect, but I kind of tried to make it fit pretty well with whatever furniture I was able to find in the furniture store. And I thought it would be cool to, since the houses are pretty exclusive and whoever can access their common rooms, I thought it would be cool where there's not a regular hallway that leads to their different common rooms, but instead if there was a staircase in each room, in each dormitory, which leads up to the common room. So that's what I did. So I included staircases, and I tried to, again, stick with the theme of each room. So I included staircases. If you look at the different staircases, they're kind of themed after the colors of each house. So, for example, for Gryffindor, I used the red staircase. And pretty much the only way to get up to the common rooms is if you are in the house's dormitories in the first place. So it's pretty exclusive in that sense, and that's the only way that you can get up to the common rooms. If you take those different stairs upstairs, this is what all the different common rooms look like. So again, I've used the same colored themes in each different common room, and depending on the house. So for each color, I've decided to include something that's special in each common room. So for example, Slytherin is green and white, and because the foosball table is green, I thought that would be a special feature of the Slytherin room that no other common room has. And for Gryffindor, I've included the chess table because I thought that those have the colors that match that common room, and the couches and everything the same also. I've used the couches that are red, and even the fireplace that's gothic, that is haunted, but has that same theme. And same thing for the other rooms, so I've just tried to maintain that same theme throughout each common room. If I go down the hallway upstairs, I've also included some office rooms where several of the headmasters and faculty of Hogwarts have their office in. So I've created some offices down the hallway of the second floor where they're supposed to be. On the second floor, if you took the set of stairs at the very end of the corridor, it actually leads you up to this room on the third floor, and this is the room of requirements, and this is where all the hidden things are. And like for example, one time I think Dumbledore said that he took a wrong turn at the bathroom and ended up here, and Dobby has said that there's all these things that you need in case you were in an emergency and needed to find this room. You're able to find it, and it has like beds, and it has pretty much like a bathroom area and a bathtub and stuff like that. So if you read the details, it actually says that the room of requirements has this skeleton thing which Harry found. It's not supposed to be a human skeleton, but the only skeleton that's available in the decorations part of the furniture store was the skeleton. And it has stuff like a bunch of books, which I've included a bookshelf here for that, and there's also supposed to be a broken recorder, so I've included something like that from the preteen section of the furniture store here. And of course there's supposed to be like a bathroom area and a bedroom and a bed, and I've included that here. There's supposed to be like a broken chess piece or whatever, so I've just included the chess table here. And just a lot of random stuff that they've kind of described if you read the books or watch the film. This is a different angle of it, so you guys can see that there's a sink and a toilet and a bathtub here, as well as that skeleton and kind of a wardrobe area. This side shows you the stairs that lead up to the room of requirements, as well as that bed and the chess table, the broken recorder, and the bookshelf. This is also another side of the room of requirements, so I've included the mirror of Erised. So if you guys have read the books or watched the movie, this is the mirror where they say that whoever goes there, they're able to see their deepest desires. So it's sort of a really philosophical place, and although there's been some controversy of where it's really located, at some point it has resided in the room of requirements. So I've included it here off towards the side, and I just decorated a furnace next to it because I thought it would look nice in that room. And since it's such a kind of like a philosophical object, if you think about it, I also included a clock next to it because it gives that sense of time and kind of fits along with that theme of thinking kind of deeply. So this is where the Mirror of Erised has lived for at least a certain amount of time. This is also, again, in the room of requirements in the third floor. Also on the third floor, I've included the Hogwarts library, and if you notice the details in the books and the films, the library is supposed to be on one of the top floors. So since Sims only allow us to make 3 floors maximum, I've included this in the third floor. And the book describes the library as having really high bookshelves, so I just took the highest bookshelf that was available in the furniture store and pretty much covered this place in it. I also used a variety of different bookshelves because since Harry Potter throughout much of the movie is a teen, I've included some study desks for preteens and bookshelves for preteens, but I've also included a table that's for anyone. Also on that note, I decided not to include any computers in Hogwarts because it really doesn't exist there, and I even have a TV in one of the rooms, which I don't know if I should have there. Another hallway in Hogwarts that's on one of the upper floors is this corridor that has a bunch of armor in it, and if you look at the different scenes from the movie, it actually looks really similar to this with a bunch of armors pretty much lining up the hallway, and the windows behind them. So I put this in this corridor, the armors, and on the other side, you can't see right now, but there's also shields with the swords crossing them, which is also available in the decoration section. So I've just lined up this hallway with that. This is part of, again, Hogwarts and what it's supposed to be there. So I've included the third story with this corridor, and actually this corridor is supposed to be right adjacent to the trophy room, which I've included also right next to this corridor. Because that corridor of armors is supposed to be right next to a trophy room, I've included a room that sort of resembles a trophy room in the Sims world. So there's not really any actual trophies if you look in the furniture store, so I've just built a room that has pretty much certificates from the ballet and the karate workshops where my preteens have gotten that from becoming professional ballet dancers and professional karate kids. So I have that, and the ghost catcher is also kind of can be considered a trophy because it contains all your ghosts. So this is a trophy room that I've created for The Sims, and the surfboard kind of looks like something from the Teen Choice Awards or something, so that's in this trophy room also. Going outside to the courtyard, unfortunately we can't build any sort of Quidditch field because they don't have that in The Sims, so I just created a soccer area where your Sims are able to play soccer, and the benches are there for spectators, so if people want to cheer on their houses, they can do that here. There's 4 benches for different houses, and if you look at the books and the movies, people at Hogwarts, the students there do a lot of astronomy, and there's no astronomy tower here, so I just decided to include the telescope there for stargazing and things like that, so it's right next to the bench. So lastly, I just wanted to show you guys my Sims who I named Harry Potter to live in Hogwarts, and I just pretty much had to go to the barber shop to create his whole face because the hair, to make it look like Harry Potter, it's not that crazy of a hairdo as he's supposed to have in the books and stuff, but it's black, it's dark, and his eyebrows, well, Daniel Radcliffe's eyebrows are pretty dark, so I've done that to his face, and pretty much the Harry Potter glasses are there. His eyes I did want to make green, but I accidentally made it blue, so the only thing he doesn't have is the lightning scar and the wand, so but everything else, like, I tried to make his clothes match with his house, so I made it red and I made it look pretty good. But this is what I did to my Sim to make it look like Harry Potter, and I think Severus Snape is also pretty easy to make if you just use the messy hair and some black clothing. So that's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and maybe if you guys create your own Hogwarts, show me and I will check it out.